The next presentation is about AIM's communications. Mr. Frank Baillie, the stage is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How pleasing it is again to see the AIMS family gathered together and meet old friends, and also have the opportunity to meet new members. For those who do not know me yet, my name is Frank Baillie, and I take great pride in being your publisher. The President has asked me to speak about communication tools that we use within the association to keep you, our members, and also the world up to date on the activities that we are carrying out. I only have 10 minutes to cover a very extensive range, so it will require to be an overview. President is laughing because he knows how I speak. So I only have 10 minutes, I only have an overview, so I'll give you a picture of what we do. I hope everyone can hear me. Good. Well, we've all heard of American English and English. You've now got the opportunity and the pleasure of hearing Scottish English presentation. Okay, AIMS communication tools. If I can master the technology here. I've started off with telling you about the, I think it's good to say, what is the definition of communication? What are we trying to achieve? I've said here that it's the imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using other mediums. Now that was 250 years ago that definition was given in one of our dictionaries. And we've moved since then from the quill pen to the fancy phones that we've all become used to. So the method of communicating has changed dramatically. We start off with, well, what are our objectives in communicating within AIMS? We've got a very clear mission, and that is to market, publicise, and promote our members' events. We're absolutely clear. We are here, our mission statement is to serve our members' interests. And we keep that focus in everything we do. The President has said that we are also here to foster the sport of road running in general. The channels that we use, well, just a brief word about that. Within that inner circle that you're looking at are the constituent parts of the communication bodies and people that information comes to, is created from, and disseminated to. That information, the green circles I'm trying to show us, there's a flow of information that goes on continuously between these people and these elements. We then clear things through the board, of course. It goes primarily to our members. We also have some direct communication with runners. We have a structured public relations activity, which I'll go on and explain in a moment. We have associated organisation, and it's a wide range of them. I won't spend time in the mechanism, but we have a wide range of associated sporting partners. And we also have a regulatory requirement to be in contact with various government and national bodies as to what we do, how we do it, and keep them and give them copies of what we do. Communications is all about people, and these are the key components. A bit of a motley crew, I think, but we'll start off with our AIMS headquarters, and we've got Theodopoulos, to give him his mother's Christian name, Livet Sanos. And Theo takes care of our membership in all aspects: membership inquiries, membership processing, membership renewals. He also is the central focus of our President's communication network. He participates in AIMS events, not just Congress, symposiums, expos, and so on. And then myself, as your publisher, primarily for the magazine that I hope you know and you've got a copy of, and there'll be more here, and known to you and your race and your officials and runners. And I also take care of our website. Hugh Jones, our all-encompassing AIMS secretary, is also editor of our newsletter, the magazine, and our website. Peter McLean takes care of our public relations, and I'd just like to say that Peter this year has been doing this on a voluntary basis for 30 years. I mean, as you can see, this picture was taken some years ago. But so Peter takes care of our media releases, our media conferences. He runs a 365, 24/7 continuous media inquiry service. We operate across the globe, different time zones, different languages, of course. And he's also focused very much on the PR of AIMS events. So that's the people. What vehicles do we use and how often do we do it? These are the points of contact that we make with you and to a degree the outside world. And they're quite extensive as we go through this. Primarily, we communicate through Congress and Symposium. This year, it's in Tallinn. And every 2 years, of course, that situation. Our Symposium, Gala, and Best Marathon Runner, which is the mainstay of our programs, is in November each year, and that's a set diary event for us all. We have a newsletter that comes out 10 times a year. It goes to members, all members, and it goes to a number of other interested parties. The website, continuously being updated with facts, figures, and information and news. The magazine, 4 times a year, 400,000 copies in these quarters. And you'll see that in the icon I've got in the January edition, that the icon is there to remind me and remind yourself that in this electronic age we have a digitized version of the magazine that can be downloaded and seen at any time, anywhere. Public relations, ongoing all through the year. Intense activities at symposiums and congresses. Expos. We support a number of expos and booths by members, and you do a lot of voluntary work as well. I mentioned the 3 main ones that we concentrate on because of the volume of people and the economies have been able to service them. And I'd like to acknowledge that London and Paris and Berlin provide these facilities for us. And these are facilities which we not only use, but we want you to use. You can come to our major exhibitions, you can use the stand as your base, you can put your promotional and distribute your promotional material at it. So these are showcases for you and the association. The calendar. I don't mean the written calendar you get in the magazine or you can online. We have a calendar service that we promote in various publications and on our web. And that allows you to download onto your tablet or your PC, whatever you want to use. And that will remind you every week, every month, of all AIMS events that are going to happen in the month ahead and in a few days before, exactly what's going to happen that weekend. So these are the vehicles and the frequencies that we use to get to you. How successful are we in getting the messages across? Well, you know, I've shown you there how the website has been performing over the last 2 years, because that's when it was created in its new form. You know, it's shown very satisfactory increases, as you can see, 38% during this 2 years. We've now got 1.6 million visitors annually. There's a lot of work to be done in the website yet. There's been a lot of work done. There's a lot more to come to make it as exciting and accessible and all the modern jargon that people are expecting these days. But we're making progress. The magazine, on the National Readership Survey, which is the international standard, we're distributing throughout the world, and we've got 1.5 million readers per year. Our newsletter, 10 times a year, it goes out 550 copies, and so that produces 5,500 times a year we're in direct contact with our members and others. And finally, public relations. Now, these number 22 doesn't seem a lot, but what we're talking about here is 2 per month each year of press releases and conferences being held on behalf of the association somewhere in the globe. As a result of that and our other activities, there is over 200 media articles produced each year. So 4 times every week of the year, AIMS activities and your activities in some cases are being carried in television stations and radio stations and major newspapers from New York to Tokyo, from Stockholm to Cape Town. In different languages and every time. I could bring you up all the examples, whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Russian, Spanish, or whatever. So that's how we're getting the message out. I thought I would take that opportunity then of just having a word about our distribution network, or how we disseminate the information, and when we're not doing it electronically and other means. That is the structure that we've got in place. We've got Peter in charge of a global network split into PR managers in the 6 continents that are shown there. And those individuals have specific countries within their regions that come under their control, and they're responsible for coordinating, controlling, directing, and assisting through these, getting AIMS messages through the media in these countries. A little bit more of that in a moment. This slide's a bit busy, and so I'll just mention, and you can see it, I've mentioned a number of these PR managers specifically here, and there's a number of them here. I think that, you know, each and every one of them is doing a particularly good job for us. And if you get the opportunity, and this is my opportunity to directly thank them. I mean, in South America and Brazil, you can see we've got Octavio and Edgard. And just to give an example, we've built up, Peter has built up, a network through this structure that in South America alone, through the databases we've got, through the runner networks we've got, through the media contacts we've got, that there is 550,000 contacts just in South America that we've got the opportunity and we've got in a database to get information out. The other end of the world is Oceania. The former manager of PR manager for that region is here today, Fran Seaton, and I'd like to pay tribute because Fran is just because of pressure of what's elsewhere has moved on to new duties and has been replaced by Raymond Lampard. And again, through the system that Fran has been built up, Raymond has inherited, we've got 250,000 contacts through that device. Alexandra is here. Our proud PR manager for Europe, does a great job. These are some examples of the magazines and the outlets that she's using. So Also, we've taken on board, and something I'd just like to quickly highlight, is our China and Japanese initiatives that are going on. Teddy Okamara, again, is here. He represents Nagoya women, and I hope you take the chance of meeting him. And he does a very good job for us in the same rate. But also what is notable about what Teddy is doing for AIMS is that on our website, we now have a Japanese version of the AIMS website. So when you go on our homepage, you can now click on and get it in Japanese. And that's serving our Japanese members and runners and assisting us in getting the message across. So that's how we that's how we distribute. Moving on quickly, another form of communications is our branding. Now, the President has directed that we spend considerable time and effort over the last few years in securing what he calls the family silver. Our logo, which I've got up there, has within it the registered symbol. We've registered that logo and that title worldwide. It's AIMS. It's our property, our intellectual property. The strapline that we now use in our branding, the home of world running, is trademarked throughout Europe and registered globally. Our website domain names, AIMSworldrunning.org, we've also secured .com and .net. This is a form of communication. It's how we're branding the organisation and communicating what we stand for. I'd like to take the opportunity, please. A number of you already include our branding, our logos, in what you do, in your races, in your publicity, in your adverts. I'd like you to consider, I know you're all proud of being a member of the association, as we are, take pride in serving you. We'd like you to show that pride by including the brand at every opportunity, at your race, on your finishers, on your T-shirts, on your brochures, on your literature. If you promote the brand, it strengthens the association. We strengthen the association, we strengthen the membership, we strengthen you. So that's what I'd like to say about branding. I know you've seen this one before. I just want to mention just a very quick word. I mean, you must be wondering about my 10 minutes. Pheidippides by this time was probably half dead, but you're only halfway through my little tirade this morning. So back to communications. It's the imparting and exchanging. And that's the word I want to concentrate on, exchanging of information. We can set up the Ferrari of communication vehicles. Looks lovely, beautiful engineering, roars like a devil. But for it to do its job, it needs fuel. You need to put that stuff in there to make it actually perform its job. Now, the fuel that we need is news and content. We stretch our resources as best we possibly can, but we can't really hope to know what is going on in 500 members across the globe. I'd like to ask you to play your part in the communication cycle. And that is, tell us about your race. Make sure you send us your results. If there's stories, human interest, you're growing, you've got VIPs, there's human interest stories, there's personalities, tell us. Because if you tell us, we can take these stories and get them on this network for the association and to promote your race and make all our communications more interesting. I mentioned Pheidippides earlier. And, if I use that for an example, and if you recall, he did the run to convey to the Athenians the victory over the Persians. Now, we remember him for the run, the role model for the marathon movement. If you're a Nike or an Asics or an Adidas, you might be wondering what shoes he wore. Or if you're a timing, you might have wondered what time he took to do it. I look at it and say he was doing it for a purpose, and he was doing it to communicate. Pheidippides was carrying a message. He was carrying news. So it doesn't matter whether you're running or whether it's the quill pen or it's the tablet. At the end of the day, the basis of any communication is content. Content is king. Doesn't matter how you're going to convey it. If it's an interesting, good story, people want to know. So, exchanging is an important part of what I'd like to stress, please, ladies and gentlemen. I have, I think, covered my story. I've said to you that AIMS communicates with the world. I've tried to show you how we do it, when we do it, and who does it. I'd like to finish by saying we do communicate with the world. If you give us the news, we'll tell the world. Thank you very much.